martinis. Now, when we're talking about martinis here, we're talking about the classic martini, James Bond, shaken not stirred martini, right? Not flavored martinis. That is a different animal that we're going to learn another time. These are actually very simple drinks, and a lot of bartenders struggle with them because they don't really understand how they're supposed to serve this thing. The first thing you got to know is the two questions that you got to ask somebody when they order martini. Question number one, you need to know what glass it goes in. So you need to ask them, would you like that straight up or on the rocks? Question number two, you need to know what alcohol they want. So would you like vodka or gin? And those are the only two questions. So we'll ask them straight up or on the rocks, vodka or gin. Let's say they want it straight up with vodka. And you will take your vermouth and you just put some in the glass. So if they want it straight up, you pour a little bit in there, maybe a ½ ounce-ish, swirl it around, and then you dump it out, okay? So that just leaves a thin film. We take our tin, remember, third to a half a tin of ice, 8 count, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Then you need to give this thing full shakes, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Strain this on out of here. We take our garnish, an olive, stab it, throw it in there. So you can stab it with a toothpick, a sword, or if you don't have anything to stab an olive with, you can just grab it with your hand. Don't be afraid to just grab olives and throw them in there. Not a big deal. And voila, there you go. Mention on the garnishes. Martinis, they are always garnished with an olive unless it is a Gibson martini, in which case instead of an olive, you're going to use a cocktail onion. It's really like a pickled onion, so when you smell it, it smells like pickled, spiced, with just a slight bit of onion in there. And as you can see, these things, they look like little frickin' cow eyes or something. All right? It is just going to be dropped in there instead of an olive. So if dry means less vermouth, extra dry means no vermouth. Well, isn't that just chilled vodka or gin? Yeah. Well, why don't they just ask for that? Well, because then you don't get a cool glass and like an olive. Extra dry means no vermouth whatsoever. What a dirty martini means is that you're going to have olive juice splashed into that drink. So the actual juice that they have the olives in, you're going to splash some of that into the drink. You might have olives just in a little glass jar like this. You might have it in an actual garnish tray, okay, like these. You're going to make these exactly the same, but you're going to add a splash of olive juice, about a ½ ounce-ish. Now, dirty martini drinkers, I know, love their olives. So what I do is I usually stab 2 olives, throw it in there, just like that. And there you go, dirty martini. What I want to talk about now are some frequently asked questions for the regular classic martini. First one that comes up a lot is the variances in sizes of the glasses. This is a classic 2-ounce martini glass. So this is the traditional OG martini glass. This is where it all originated from. But a lot of bars have much bigger martini glasses now. So obviously this is going to hold quite a bit more than this. So if you get to your bar and that's the case, all you're going to do is just increase your alcohol appropriately. Obviously if these things are 3, 4, 5 ounces, they're going to be very large glasses and they're going to be very expensive cocktails. So they will be priced appropriately. And if not, then hey, then people are getting a smoking deal on a drink. But generally, you're just going to increase appropriately. Just increase your counts, 4 count for each additional ounce that you need to cover. Another question that confuses people sometimes is when they're being made on the rocks, do I have to shake this thing? Do I have to shake it in there and then strain it over the ice into the drink? No, when you're making a martini on the rocks, it's very simple. It's just like any other cocktail where you take the glass, you fill it full of ice, you put your ingredients in there, you garnish it, and you serve it. And then, of course, because it has ice, it gets straws. So you don't have to worry about shaking it or anything. It's just very simple. Another one is Gallo. Is this the type of vermouth you're going to have in your bar? Maybe. Yes? No? We don't know. Remember, there's no absolutes in almost any of this stuff. Bars are very much open to interpretation in almost anything that you do. Gallo is a very common vermouth, and you very well might likely have this, but if you don't, then don't freak out. Doesn't matter. Any vermouth is going to work. Another common like call brand of vermouth is, say, like a Martini and Rossi. That's a real common one that a lot of people know the name brand of. So that is a vermouth. This is dry vermouth. There's also sweet vermouth, which does not go in martinis. This goes in Manhattans and Rob Roys, but I'll just kind of mention it because they look the same. And as you can tell, the same green bottle. The difference, though, is the label. Notice that the sweet vermouth will always have a red label. Right? So red, you know that's not going to go in any martinis. Regular martinis, classic martini, this stuff. Green, sometimes a blue label. And make sure you get these down. You definitely need to know how to make this. It will pay great dividends. Mad respect, good tips. All right? That's it for now. I'll see you next time.